In today's video, I am going to explain anatomy of thorax. In first part, I will explain basic anatomy of thorax. Then in second part, I explain how you can apply today's anatomy for yoga, Pilates, and exercise. Well, where is thorax? It is basically this area. Basically, it is around ribcage area. There are basically three components in thorax. First thing first, this is sternum. Sternum, okay? The next component is rib or ribs, okay? How many ribs are there in human body? There are 12 ribs in one side and 12 ribs in one side. Okay, so there are 24 ribs. Anyhow, ribs. Last component is thoracic spines. Thoracic spines. How many thoracic spines are there? There are 12 thoracic spines. It's natural, right? There are 12 thoracic spines. And there are 12 ribs on one side, 12 ribs on one side. So that makes sense. 12 thoracic spines. Anyhow, sternum, ribs, and thoracic spines. These components together, that is thorax. This is basic anatomy. And what is functions of thorax? Alright, there are two basic functions of thorax. One function is protection. Protection. What is that protecting about? It is protecting internal organs. Particularly, what kind of internal organs inside of thorax? That is lungs. Lungs. Not only that, what is famous internal organ? It's here. This is heart, right? So, thorax is protecting these important internal organs. What if lungs and heart are not protected? They are easily aggravated from shock and trauma, right? Thorax, very important for protection. Not only for heart and lungs. Ribcage actually protecting abdominal organs, such as this huge organ. This is liver. Liver. And what is there on left side? There is stomach, right? Part of stomach is covered by thorax, covered by ribcage. And kidneys, part of kidneys are also protected by ribcage. See, thorax not only protects heart and lungs, it also protects abdominal organ. That is freaking important function, right? Next function is breathing. Breathing, yay, what kind of internal organ is there? There is lung, the most important breathing respiratory organ. So as ribcage moves, air goes into lung. Then as ribcage shrinks, air goes out, right? So ribcage is important for breathing. Thus, around ribcage, around thorax, there are many muscles attaching, such as diaphragm. It's very important muscle. Diaphragm. Intercostal muscles. Respiratory muscles attach around ribcage. But not only that. Many shoulder muscles, many shoulder girdle muscles, back muscles attached to thorax. So what can I say that? If one particular muscle gets tight, that not only affects for ribcage, thorax, that may affect for other parts of body. That is freaking important. So from now on, let me explain what kind of relationship among thorax, scapula, lumbar spines, cervical spines, and so on. This is posterior view. Where is thorax? It's basically thoracic area and ribcage. Look how many muscles are around thorax. Let me pick shoulder girdle muscles. This is rhomboid. Rhomboid that attaches to scapula and thoracic spines, part of cervical spine as well, scapula and spines. And let's look at this one. This is serratus anterior. Serratus anterior that also attaches to scapula, then it attaches to ribcage, thorax. So what happens if these two muscles get tight? That of course inhibits movement of scapula, and look at where they attach to. Rhomboid attaches to thoracic spines. Serratus anterior attaches to ribcage, thorax. So if these muscles get tight, that also creates inhibition for thorax, thoracic spines, and ribcage. And serratus anterior attaches to ribcage. So tightness of this muscle may inhibit breathing. Does it make sense? So these muscles of course inhibits movement of scapula. Not only that, they also affects for movement of thorax. This is frigging important relationship. So if scapula doesn't move, thoracic spines don't move, ribcage don't move. Does it make sense? So this is very important thing. You should look anatomy for kind of an integral way. You should not separate anatomy for one by one. Does it make sense? You should combine every single aspect of anatomy. Then new world opens up. This is very important. Now let's go to other relationships. Again, thorax includes thoracic spines. What is below thoracic spines? What is under thoracic spines? That is lumbar spines. Lumbar spines. What is above thoracic spines? That is cervical spine. Cervical spines. So if your thoracic spines don't move, maybe your lumbar spines don't move, and maybe your cervical spines don't move. You know, spines are one continuous structure. If movement of flow is aggravated here, that of course affects for lumbar spines and cervical spines. Then this tightness can be from rhomboid, of course, because that attaches to thoracic spines. Maybe this tightness can be from serratus anterior. You can follow connection from ribs to scapula, scapula to thoracic spines. It's so important thing. And let's see, there's tiny muscles around ribs and thoracic spines. That is levator costrum. Levator costrum that attaches to ribs and thoracic spines. This is important for thoracic movement and breathing. So if this muscle gets tight, that of course inhibits breathing and thoracic spine movement. If this area don't move, maybe lumbar spines don't move. See, if you see anatomy in kind of united way, you can see anatomy. You can see human body different way. It's so important. Alright, let's go to anterior view. I want to explain one muscle first. This is pectoralis minor, pec minor. This muscle attaches to scapula and ribcage. Yay! Main function is this muscle moves scapula. But let's look at here. This is ribcage. Pec minor attaches to ribcage. That means this guy aggravates breathing. If breathing is aggravated, that can affect for scapular movement. Why is that? Because pec minor attaches to ribcage and scapula. Oh, by the way, if scapula doesn't move, your shoulder does not move. These guys have strong relationship. Scapula and shoulder. And let's see. Pec minor attaches to ribcage and scapula. When scapula doesn't move, shoulder doesn't move. So you can say, if ribcage doesn't move, scapula doesn't move, then shoulder does not move. That is why thorax rib cage is freaking important. You can follow connection to anywhere. You can go to shoulder, or you can go to abdominal area, or even far away. You can go to pelvis, hip joint, and maybe for knee joint, lower extremity. Human connection is kind of infinity, countless, numerous ways of connection. Then let me pick one more thing. You see this muscle? This is neck muscle. This is sternocleidomastoid. Let's say SCM, sternocleidomastoid. This guy attaches to sternum. And where is that going? This is going to head. Mastoid process. Mastoid. This guy attaches to sternum. This is part of thorax. This is going to head. Let's see if sternocleidomastoid doesn't move. If sternum doesn't move, this tightness may affect for head movement. If head muscle gets tight, that can be cause for headache and neck pain. This is important connection. You should not see anatomy for one separated structure. It is not separated. It's all united. It's all one continuous thing. You can say same thing for other structure like scapula. Scapula is here. There's connection with thoracic spines. There's connection with cervical spines. There's connection with rib cage, with shoulder joint. If you follow this connection, you can go to elbow, you can go to lumbar spines, you can go to pelvis, head, so many places. So if you like this kind of video, I will try to upload this kind of connection video, maybe from lumbar spines, maybe from hip joint, pelvis, and so on, so on, so on. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.